This industry is valued at over $2 billion worldwide and growing. The top coaches in this space charge upwards of $1,000 per hour. And despite its popularity, it is illegal in some countries to be this unless you are a licensed professional. Stick around and find out what business I'm ranking today.
This is how legends are made.
Welcome back to another business review where we will rank this business to see if it's a good fit for you. Before we dive into the review, I want to remind you that there is a free 7-step checklist over at myelevatedmindset.com that you can pick up. This checklist has helped me develop multiple businesses, and I'm giving it to you for free. Head on over to myelevatedmindset.com to get your free 7-step checklist to generate your first business idea. And if you already have an idea or you already have a business, but you need some coaching on getting it going or making it more profitable, head on over to myelevatedmindset.com, click on the coaching icon, and I will be happy to do a one-on-one session with you to see how I can help. Life coaching. That's the business that we're going to be diving in today. So what is life coaching? Life coaching is a personal development industry that's focused on helping others improve their lives. You can help people include their careers, you can help people include their relationships, and you can just simply help them with personal growth. Life coaches provide accountability and support in one-on-one sessions, helping clients set and achieve oftentimes very lofty goals. One of the things you need to be asking yourself before you start this business is, who is it that I'm going to be working with? And really, you're going to be working with everyone. Anyone that needs some help accomplishing their goals. It's all about inspiring change and fostering self-discovery in other people. Your success as a life coach will be tied to your skills in empathy, listening, and the ability to motivate others. If that sounds like something that you would enjoy, essentially getting into the trenches with someone else who is struggling and lifting them out of that through personal development techniques that you have used in your life, then this is definitely the business for you. Time to dive into the good and the bad of life coaching business. One of the best things about being a life coach is the flexibility of your schedule. If you already have a W-2 or you already have another business that's providing you the income that you need to live, but you want to become a life coach, that's great. You're able to do that. Life coaching can be worked around your current life. If you have children, you do take them here and there. You want to make certain events, you want to do certain things. Life coaching can be worked around. In the podcast that I did with Aaron Shields, a very successful life coach, he talked about how this was the most fulfilling part of his entire work life. Being able to change people's lives he is watching people grow and succeed and accomplish new goals and have breakthroughs that they've been struggling with for years, some essentially trauma, and he is able to help them get through that. He said that that was one of the most fulfilling and amazing things that he has ever done with his life. It sounds like he's found his true purpose. Let's talk about the bad now. To become a life coach, you don't need to do anything. You can essentially wake up and call yourself a life coach, build a website, make some videos on YouTube, and reach out to coach others and charge a fee for it. You don't need any certificate, you don't need any license, you don't need any degree. And I'm gonna jot this down as a bad thing. Even though some of you may be thinking, that's great, I can be a life coach and I don't have to spend a ton of money getting the licenses, the certificates, and the degrees and everything like that. Yes, that is true. But at the same time, if every single person in the world can wake up one day and call themselves a life coach, it's kind of a negative. That brings me to my second bad thing about the industry of life coaching. They get a bad name. A lot of people, because you don't need a certificate or anything to become a life coach, there are some really bad life coaches out there. And so a lot of people think of life coaching essentially as a scam. It's just a way to take people's money, give them to say a bunch of hoodoo, and then that's helping people, right? And at the end of the day, if you're a true successful life coach, you are changing people's lives and you are helping them through some very, very dark times. The third negative that I can see in the life coaching industry is an inconsistency of money and the time it takes to start making money. When you start out as a life coach, no one knows who you are, and so they're not going to hire you to coach them, right? It's gonna take a little bit of time to build your name up, to build your brand up, and get some money flowing in. Remember in the podcast, Aaron said that it took them about 8 months before they were profitable. So you're going to need to have savings in order to weather that storm before you start making money. The other side of the money is if the economy is bad and people aren't making a lot of money, or they've lost their job, or something like that has happened in their life coaching is going to be one of the first things that they cut out from their lives. They need to pay their bills, they need to get their food, they need to do all the necessities first. And even though life coaching should be a necessity for some people, it just isn't. They need other things first before they need life coaching. In this next section, we're going to talk about getting started as a life coach, essentially the cost it becomes to be a life coach and the barriers to entry. Let's first talk about the cost. You don't have to spend really anything if you don't want to become a life coach. There are certificates out there that range anywhere from $200 for a certificate up to $13,000 for a certificate. And the thing is, remember, you don't need to have a certificate at all to call yourself a life coach. It's just highly recommended. If you wanted to start a YouTube channel, that's free. That way you can get your name out there organically and start talking about what you know as your life coach, what experiences you've gone through, and get followers that way. Instagram, TikTok, all those can be a free way of getting your name out there. So you don't need any money there. You should already have a computer. If you don't, you can pick up a pretty cheap one and get the job done, right? You can use your phone. 99.9% of the world has a phone, and you could honestly start your life coaching business with a phone. The other thing is you'll want to have a website/business builder. And one of the best ones out there is Kajabi. It's about $150 a month for the basic version. And this is a really good way that you can start your business as a life coach for pretty cheap per month, right? And so the cost to start as a life coach, it can be expensive. I remember Aaron on the podcast, he talked about how they spent around $70,000 to build out a website, to hire a team, to get all that going for events and stuff like that. But you don't need to spend that much money in order to be a life coach to get started. Barriers to entry in the life coaching industry. All right, this is gonna be a crazy one, and I hope you're ready for it. If you'll say this phrase with me out loud, you will become a life coach, and that's the barrier to entry. I am a life coach. Great, now you're a life coach. In all seriousness, that really is what it is to become a life coach. But to become a successful life coach, that's an entirely different story, right? To become a successful life coach, you need to be able to help people, right? What are some things that you struggle with? Is it anxiety? Is it depression? Are you worried all the time? Did you used to be poor and now you're making money? Were you lacking in setting goals? Now you set goals and achieve them. There's something that you have done personally that you could teach someone else to do. And that's a life coach. There's generally something you could do to help somebody achieve their goals right now. And if you're wanting to be a life coach, the barriers to entry, there are none. You just say, I am a life coach. The money, it doesn't cost much to start your business as a life coach. But you do need to genuinely have a want to help someone, and you need to be able to have a problem that you have solved in order to help them solve it as well. Let's talk about what life coaches do on the daily. Life coaches, especially successful ones, are going to wake up early in the morning and they have a routine. They're going to wake up and immediately put some positivity into their ears, or they're going to read a book that's positive. They're going to work out, they're going to have a good breakfast, they're going to meditate, and they're going to get their mind and their body right so they can help other people. If you're negative, or you're feeling bad, or your body's feeling bad, you're not going to be able to help other people. It's going to be very hard. And so that's one of the first things that life coaches do on the daily. After a life coach gets themselves ready for the day and gets their mind right so they can help other people, then they're going to dive into helping other people. Life coaches spend a lot of time with one-on-one clients. They're either on a Zoom call, maybe on the phone, in-person meetup, things like that, to listen to people's problems and dive in and help them. Sometimes it's someone that's struggling with depression. Sometimes it's a high-profile athlete that wants to get to the next level, or a high-profile businessman that wants to get to the next level. Life coaches do it all. and they help people with many different types of things. Once they're done with their meetings for the day and helping other people, they are back to learning and growing. As a life coach, your passion needs to be bettering yourself both mentally and physically. That means going to the gym, that means going to masterminds, events, reading books. You're always growing and always getting better as a life coach. The other thing that they do is handling the business side of things. So if you have paperwork, that's you. You have to do that. Most life coaches are lone wolves, especially when they're starting out. All the emails, all the phone calls, all the paperwork, all the finances, everything is going to be handled by you as the life coach owner of your business. All right, the last thing that I want to share in this section is that you need to be an expert marketer. That means that you are the sales team, you're the marketing team. What does that mean? You need to create new content, you need to go out and find new people, and you need to host mini events to get your name out there. If people don't know who you are and they don't know how you can help them, they're never gonna pay you, and they most certainly aren't gonna hire you. Your main job for the first few years of being a life coach is to simply sell. You need to go out there, meet new people, and be able to market yourself in a way that people go, I want to be like that. That person knows what they're talking about, and I'm gonna hire them so they can take me to the next level. Let's touch on the employee management side of things for the life coaching business. At first, you're gonna be a lone wolf. Everything that you need to do, from marketing to selling to one-on-one clients to getting your name out there, that's all going to be you. Once you start building a name for yourself and you're helping other people and you're starting to become successful, you're gonna wanna hire a mini team to help you spread the word and get stuff done. Aaron, who is a very successful life coach with his business, he talked about how he hired 4 individuals to help him on his journey. He has a sales director, he has 2 more life coaches that help him and his clients, and then he also has an event coordinator. This one is extremely important because Aaron is doing a lot of events to spread the word and also help other people. And he can have the sales and the event directors take this all off his plate so he can just focus on being a life coach and changing people's lives, which is what he loves. Let's dive into my favorite section, and I've named it, Show Me the Money, Baby. Let's dive into what life coaches can make. Profit potential. Tony Robbins is easily one of the biggest names known in the life coaching world. And Tony has a net worth of $600 million when it is estimated that he makes $83 million annually. Now, this comes from books, it comes from podcasts, it comes from events, it comes from courses, it comes from other businesses that he has, but his brand and his name is life coaching. He helps people overcome their challenges and he helps people set goals. Now, I don't know about you, but $83 million per year sounds like a good chunk of change that could definitely change my life and someone else's life. When you start out as a life coach, you're not gonna be like Tony Robbins at all. That took him decades and decades to create this brand that helps other people and make that many millions of dollars. When you start out, you're not gonna make anything. You don't get paid to just become a life coach. You have to find clients and you have to sell products like a book or a course that you've developed. And so plan on making nothing for the first little bit. If you work hard and you find a bunch of clients, you can quickly start getting paid a little bit. My personal opinion on this is if I were to start a life coaching business, I would keep my W-2 job, or if I don't have one, find a W-2 job. Or if you have a business that's already producing income, that's awesome too. Keep that business going, and that is your cash that you can use to go part-time into the life coaching space. Work on that part-time, get a few clients here and there, and then when you are satisfied with the amount of money that the life coaching business is making for a prolonged period of time, then you can switch over to full-time if you want. Let's talk about the risk that's associated with being a life coach. In my opinion, the competition is very fierce. If anyone can wake up and say, I'm a life coach to become a life coach, that means there's gonna be a lot of people out there. To be a successful life coach though, it's gonna be very hard to break through in that industry and get your name out there. The other side of things is when the economy is down, I already talked about this, but when the economy is down, people aren't going to pay for life coaching sessions. And that creates essentially a risk as well. This next section is about industry growth. We don't want to get into a business that's going to be gone in 5 to 10 years. And so I pulled up a website on coachvantage.com. And they said that the industry of life coaching has an annual growth of 6.7%. After seeing this, I'm convinced that more people are thinking about their mental health and well-being than ever before. It's becoming more acceptable to talk about your mental health, and they're starting to understand really just how important it is to their success in life. If life coaches can help people understand how important it is for their well-being and their mental health to be on point so that they can be successful, there will always be a place for life coaching, because us humans, we need help from other people that have already gone through the trenches. It's time to rank the life coaching business. Remember, an S tier is one of the best businesses you could ever start. It has low risk and very high profitability. On the flip side, an F tier ranking would mean that this is the hardest business to ever get into. Think Elon Musk started SpaceX. Now, for the life coaching business, after much consideration, I rank this as a C tier. Now, let me explain why I ranked it as a C tier. The strengths of a life coaching business are flexibility and fulfillment. Life coaching offers high flexibility and the potential for personal fulfillment through helping others. Coaches can set their rates and their schedules, which can appeal to those looking for autonomy. There's also a ton of growth potential. With rising awareness of mental health and self-improvement, the industry is expected to grow potentially, offering long-term career opportunities for dedicated coaches. Also, the sky's the limit when it comes to making money. You could be the next Tony Robbins, making $83 million per year. There's some challenges though that come with getting into this business, and this is essentially why I brought it down to a C tier. There's high competition and low barrier to entry. The lack of certification requirement means anyone can call themselves a life coach, leading to market saturation. This makes it challenging for new coaches to stand out and establish credibility. The income instability is also where I'm like, it's just hard. You don't know when you're gonna get paid. You don't know when you're gonna get your first check. You don't know when you're gonna get your first client. And so the income instability is very hard. Also, when there's an economic downturn, people are gonna stop paying for life coaching because they need to pay other necessities. My overall assessment for life coaching is a C tier. Time to light up the comment section. If you agree with my diagnosis of the life coaching business, put it in the comments that you agree, and also hit the like and subscribe button. If you disagree with my ranking, put it in the comments as well. I'd love to hear what your opinion is and why you disagree with my ranking as a life coach business. Also subscribe and like, even if you disagree with my diagnosis. Just a reminder, head on over to myelevatedmindset.com to where we have a 7-step checklist to where you can download that for free to help you get your first big business idea. I'll be interviewing other business owners and ranking other businesses, and hopefully we land on one that sticks out to you so that you can start your first business.